If you love ESK8 and you haven't been to ESK8con yet, what are you thinking? You better go next year. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and yeah, I'm still recovering from my trip. It was exhilarating and exhausting, and this is actually take two. I have done this entire thing once today and didn't realize that the batteries had died in my wireless mic, so let's do this again. Getting right into a recap. So I did go to ESK8con last year, 2023, but I didn't make it in time to do those pre-convention group rides. And that is where a lot of the fun is, including the coolest one, which is the Red Rock Canyon ride. We'll talk about that in just a second. But yeah, I missed out on those. And basically I got there Friday for the show. And you want to get there a little bit earlier. So there's your first tip as far as planning for ESK8con. Now this year I had planned to be there by Wednesday afternoon at about 1:30, and I would have been there in time for the first ride. Yeah, but that's not how it goes when you travel sometimes. I live in North Carolina, so I had to fly out of Norfolk, Virginia. The plane went to Washington, D.C. The same plane was supposed to continue on to Las Vegas. I got off to have a cocktail, got a text saying, oh, sorry, your plane has been canceled because it's not mechanically sound. I'm like, oh, well, I mean, at least it did get me here. So I had to sit in that airport for 5 to 6 hours. Thank you very much, United. I'm going to be talking to you. And when I finally got out of there, I didn't get to Las Vegas until 1:30 in the morning. I guess that would be Thursday morning. Either way, I finally made it and got to the Golden Nugget down there on Fremont Street. That's where a lot of us stay. And as it turns out, my sponsor this year, this way I didn't have to ship one of my boards out there, was OMW Boards. And well, they were staying in the same hotel, so it was perfect. Got the board from them Thursday morning, went out for a ride to get used to it. And then, well, Thursday afternoon, we were off to Red Rock Canyon. It was, oh my gosh, man, listen, Red Rock Canyon, it's almost spiritual. It's peaceful. You've got all these vistas and views. It's basically the scenic route that cars will take, and it's about 17 to 20 miles. I think my ride was a complete 23 miles, but you've got red rocks on one side, you've got drop-offs and canyon to the other side, and as you're riding, it's some of the best asphalt that you're going to find. It is nice and smooth. It's a national park. You've got uphills and downhills, tight turns and wide turns, and about 75 of your best friends. At least that's the way it feels. This is a great community all out on this ride. Not just skateboards, we've got EUCs out there, scooters, even people riding a cooler, whether it's on a one wheel or a two Swift or something like that. And then you'll stop 3 or was it 4 times at different lookouts, and everybody just kind of has a chance to high five and talk to each other and stuff. And it was great because so many people came up to me, dude, Vapor Trails, Tony B, how you doing, man? And oh, it was just amazing, amazing, amazing community and camaraderie. And at one of the stops, I got to meet this dog who was along with his owner. It was pretty fun. So big thanks to NC ESK8. They adopted me last year, 2023. The first time that they won the Super Squad Award, and we actually won that again this year. But they made sure that I got there and back, and we got to party together. As a matter of fact, on Friday night, one of my best friends that I've known since 8th grade came out to see me. Yeah, he lives in San Diego, so we hung out and partied. It was a blast. And he got to meet the NC ESK8 crowd who were like, dude, you've known him since 8th grade. That's pretty cool. Now, I don't normally gamble. I lived in Las Vegas for 4 years. I used to do radio there. I was on KKLZ, 96.3 KKLZ there. But I was coming out of the bathroom, and for some reason, this penny machine was just calling my name. I stuck a 20 in there, $400 right off the bat. And that happened a few times during my stay there. I walked away with about $700. It was nice. I want to say, as far as this event goes, MBoards is just phenomenal with this. And you can tell that they really, really love the community. They are not trying to gouge anybody. They had raffles out there that there was, 3 days of raffles out there, each day different stuff that was out there. I mean, amazing prizes. I can't list them all. If you want to check out their Facebook or their Instagram, they've got lists of the stuff that they were giving away, but wow. And I even won some BKB 6-inch tires, so I'm pretty stoked on that. But yeah, they were selling those tickets for only $1, and the concessions for, anything that they had up there, donuts and cookies and chips and whatever they had, only $1. And the way that they put this event on, I mean, they do have actual family members that are working at MBoards and out at the expo itself. But the employees of MBoards, it's more like a family, and you can tell the way that they work together, and it's just so cohesive. And I just want to thank MBoards and the entire staff for putting on an amazing event. And NC ESK8, one of the reasons why they won the Super Squad thing is because they're always so helpful. They actually helped set up the track, and then during the event, they did whatever they could to help. They were doing announcing and stuff like that, and even at one point, during the finals, everybody's voice was so harshed out that they said, Tony, you used to work in radio. boom, gave me the microphone. So yeah, I got to announce what, 3 of the races, the big races. So that was pretty cool. Now the first day that I got there, Brian with Mad Eastgate is a good friend of mine, and well, he had invited, just come sit in our booth, you know, hang out with us. And so when I walked over there to do that, he's like, Tony, you're racing. And I said, no, I'm not. They're all sold out and I don't have a pass. And he goes, I have one for you. You're racing. And I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm not prepared. I don't have my own board. The board that OMW gave me, the Cavalry, is a fantastic board, but not necessarily set up for racing. And he said, it doesn't matter. Just go out there and have fun. I want you to have the full experience. So I gave in, and you know what? I raced. It was really, really cool. So I encourage you, if you're going to go to ESK8con in 2025, think about racing, because it's awesome and you get the full experience. Now, I'm not going to say it's easy. If you take a look at this track right here, this track is, well, it's got a lot of turns in there and some real tight turns. I think the track last year had a little bit too much straightaways, and these boards, like the Stooge boards and stuff, they go really fast. So maybe a way to slow them down a little bit and make it a little bit more competitive and even up the field a little. So I qualified with 1 minute and 16 seconds on my qualifying round, which put me into the novice group, which is exactly what I wanted. They had novice, sportsman, advanced, and pro. And novice was great for me. Well, on the first heat, which was on Saturday morning after partying all night, 10 o'clock sharp, man. I was on my mark, took off, and that first turn, it's a killer. Well, everybody bunched up. I hit somebody's wheel. They all took off. I was off my board, had to turn, you know, get the board. Anyways, I ended up in last place on that on the first heat. So I had another heat on Sunday morning, and on that one, I actually ended up 4 out of 6. So that's the one that I'm going to keep, all right? I ended up 4 out of 6 in the novice, at least in my heat.
You're looking good.
However, I will tell you that in the novice, in the finals, Rishi, yeah, he got first place. He's from NCE Skates group, and that was fantastic to see that. But the races are just, they're so much fun. I highly recommend you do that. And of course, just watching the races is a ton of fun. You pick your favorite racer and just root them on. It's really cool. Now, it's not only about the races, though, because there are so many vendors out there. In fact, this year, more vendors than ever, and some of your favorite Chinese manufacturers were out there, like Ace Deck, Meepo, Backfire was there, of course, OMW boards. We had Propel out there. We even had Radium out there. And we even had from Germany, we had Cavity board, which that's really cool. I'm glad all these guys made it out there. And if there's a board that you've been wanting to try, right there, you can demo it. You can take it out on the track. You can take it out on the street and whatever. And I did just that with just about every one of the boards out there. Only problem is I had one specific card, one memory card that I had for just that. And apparently I have misplaced that. I can't find that card now. But I did. I wrote all these boards, and you can too. Now, one board that I really wanted to ride, because I have the Ace Deck NYX Z1, is I wanted to try the new Z3 and see all that suspension and how that is. And oh my God, man, this thing, just looking at the suspension, it looks like that could be an art piece on your coffee table or something like that. It's artistically made, and the board itself, wow. That independent suspension and the way everything works, I don't know. I love my Z1, but I might have to have a Z3 now. Now, I've mentioned OMW boards a few times. A little mini review right now. The Cavalry, I probably put that thing through more paces than I usually do when I review a board. I mean, you know, I just don't usually have the terrain and the time to do everything. I'm not racing them and all that. But this board, I raced it. I took it on the Red Rocks ride. I took it on the Saturday night ride, which the Saturday night ride is fantastic. I mean, we're talking about a ride that had about 375 people. It's about a 17 to 20 mile ride, I think. Maybe it was less than that, but either way. Last year it was called the Strip Takeover because we literally went straight down the strip. This time we did the strip, but we also went back behind the strip and we went to the Sphere, which that was really cool. But just either way, it's so much fun to ride with these big groups of people. And I do want to give a shout out to It's a Sickness SD Skate from San Diego. They were, along with NCE Skate, were safety officers during this. And a big shout out to SoCal Legend, because boy, he did a great job with the safety meeting. What a fun time this was. I mean, you're out in the traffic and people can be a little bit pissed off, honking those horns and stuff, but you just keep doing it, keep going. So anyways, yeah, the board was able to handle all of that and racing on top of that. It's a comfortable board, and it's not one of the more expensive boards. Plus it has extra features, and I know with the Cavalry right now, if you buy that, you also get like $350 worth of extra stuff, as you'll see on my board, the lights and everything else that are on it. As it's part of it. You can buy it in 3 different flexibilities, and they also have the Hussar, which also has that 3 different flexibilities, but it's by nature super flexy because it doesn't have a aluminum enclosure on it. The Cavalry, it has an aluminum enclosure, but it's separated from the deck. so that the deck can still flex, and then it's got these little wings that are kind of what hold that enclosure on. And I'm just gonna say, it's a good board. As a matter of fact, I got a chance to talk to Yvonne from OMW, so let's check that out. Okay, so I'm sitting here at the OMW booth with Yvonne, and you know, you guys have been super supportive during this whole thing, and I really appreciate it. Got a great board to ride. I've raced it, I've taken it on giant group rides, and it's really performed well. I have a couple of questions about it. You have 3 different firmness to the boards, right? So there's a very flexy, medium,
medium and high flexy. Yeah, for Cavalry, there are 3 decks options, and also for Hussar.
Okay.
Yeah, the same.
So how do you achieve those different flexibilities? Because I noticed on the Cavalry, you've got these wings that are underneath the deck there. So is that part of the stability of it? What do those do? Is there a function to those?
Actually, for the stability you feel, that is the composition of different parts. First, deck, and then like the fixing you mentioned about for the alloy enclosure, and the most important part are the wheels. Yeah, the wheels are quite balanced.
Right.
Before shipping from the factory, we do a lot of balancing on it. So that's why, yeah, when people are riding with the Cavalry or Hussar, they notice that it is much more stable when at high speed.
I noticed that too. I noticed that too. Well, that's really cool. So how long has OMW been around? It's just been around for a short time, right? Like,
yeah, like 1 year, more than 1 year. Yeah.
Well, that's great. You guys have done a lot in a year, and you've got a brand new board, and it's called what? The new board?
Hussar.
Hussar.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I say it right.
Yeah, the more flexible one, because it is a little bit different from Cavalry, because Cavalry, it has the rigid alloy enclosure, and it makes it stable and very functional at the high speed. Although it is, because it is a all-terrain boards. Yeah, we definitely we define it like this. But for Hussar, it has more flex, better enclosure. It gives people that the flexibility that people used to on bamboo or maple boards. And some people may prefer stiffness, and some people may prefer flexibility. So that's why we provide with people with 2 options, and even like totally 2 models, but 6 options for different ways and different riding styles. For like a more flexible deck, people may want to have like a more carving and turning. Yes, and and if especially on off-road, it can absorb all the bumps and feel good, and will not have the feeling of numb knees or feet.
Your ankles and feet get all numb.
Exactly.
And your decks they have a lifetime warranty on them?
Yeah, definitely, because we have full confidence about the deck. This is made of carbon fiber and glass fiber composite, so we say that they never break. Yeah.
Okay, well,
so
that's awesome.
why we are confident enough to provide lifetime warranty.
That is very comfortable, I have to say. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to get home and go through all this footage and get a nice video together.
Yeah, you're doing great, especially for the racing. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
The first time. Right.
It is the first time. I got one more race today.
Yeah.
And maybe 2 if I qualify for the final race, but I don't know.
I
don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah. So never mind, because this is a sport that we have fun, right? We gather together as a community. It's a big community for us, so we just have fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So a little mini review, and the Hussar is on pre-order right now on their website, and as soon as that one is ready for release, I think around mid to late June, they're going to send one of those over here for me to review as well. If you like flex, you're going to like that Hussar. All right, I'm still in recovery mode and a little foggy. That's probably why I already messed this thing up, and I'm doing this for the 2nd time today. I hope I'm not too long-winded, but it's just like an excited kid. This was just so much fun. My wife has heard way too much about it, and maybe she'll go with me next year. Get her to ride one of these things with me. But I had a blast, and I want to thank everybody that came up to me and said hi. Oh, Tony B, Vapor Trail, man. Oh, love your channel. That it's very humbling, and it made me feel all warm and fuzzy. If you're into ESK8 and you get a chance to do this next year, I highly recommend it. But maybe I'll leave a day earlier next time, just so I'm there for a full day before everything starts, just so I make sure that the travel stuff, and I'm not the only one that had travel troubles. I understand that Scott Davies got stuck in Cavalry for 24 hours or something like that on the way back home. It happens to all of us. What are you going to do? But I'm going to be talking to you, United. I wasn't treated well in that airport. All right, it's Friday, and I think maybe a beer will make me feel a little bit better right now. Oh, man. Well, it's a good kind of hurt, though, because it came from, like I said, excitement, exhilaration, and exhaustion from doing something you love. Look, I want to thank you so much for your support, whether it was out there or right here on this channel. You are awesome, and I just really appreciate you watching the videos here. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there and a notification bell. If you click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. Now, it's not inexpensive to run these channels and do all this stuff. So if you're so inclined, want to toss a couple bucks my way, there is a thanks button down there as well. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.